Hello friends and hello student. In this session we learn the factor of any number in integer. So in C language. So let us start. I share my laptop screen and here fix the position so you can watch better way of my video lecture and we can develop the C language very easy way. So in here turbo C++ is there and here take some process because there is a latest. Yes, now is open alter F, that is a shortcut key of file menu and taking new file, and in comment line write a program to enter one integer number. So in your mind, so many how major program in develop in integer data type, because there are that is a integer data type is a high flexible data type because there is a two modular like short and long and sign and unsigned, all that is a we can say that modifier range. So highest data type range we can say that is a integer data type. So many major program develop in C logic we have to integer data type because that short long integer data type is there, uh, signed integer and unsigned integer, because that you can observe all primary data type like fundamental or inbuilt data type. That character is only signed and unsigned, and float there is no any qualifier. Qualifier means short long signed unsigned, and then double is only long double, and float not taking any. So we can say that king data type or very flexible data type, that is known as an integer, and most of our program you can take integer data type too, like all number program you can take integer data type. So here my definition, write a program to enter one integer number, and then in second line find out that number factor. So that divisible, how many possible that number is divisible by which number. So like in prime number, that number prime number means that number itself and one, that if that number is divisible, so that is a only two factor that prime number, and if other is possible that factor that not prime number. So 5 is a prime number but 8 is a not prime number. If 8 is divided by 2, so here is a we can print all factor of that any number, one integer number. So what is a factor? So you can say that find out that number factors. Yes. So like we can enter 5, so that are only two factor, 1 and 5. And if we can enter the 8, so there are four factor that number, like 1, 8 number itself, and 2 and 4 also we can divide by 8. So there is a, so here I give the example what is a factor of that number. So like we can that example directly I give. So like we can enter 5 numbers, so that factor 1 and number itself. So 1 and that 2 factor is print. We can enter 5 that time 2 factor, and we can enter 8 then that factor 8, then 2, then 4, and then 8. So number itself. So that is we can reach in a prime number, we can develop the logic on 1 and not itself that number, that in between we have to divide that number. And but here we can want to start our logic and up to that number we have to taking. So we can take any iteration first to end of that the loop that we are taking in this program in factor, that is for loop, not taking while loop. So I just example in these two at a comment line in multi-comment line. And now we can start our header link section in taking header file stdio.h, standard input output, and conio console input output.h, and then void main. Yes. So some student not how prefix is a main is a void, because by default that return is an integer data type. If here you cannot take, then by default one warning is there, let us we have to take. And now we can take integer variable that n, and we can print that factor. So we can taking as a I. Okay, so that our loop. So just only two variable, and now clear the screen. And what earning is appear in this compilation of this program. So that is also enter one integer number. So the suitable message to programmer, or you can say that developer. So that is a program, simple. So let us take and scan, and then we can take for loop, not while loop. We can also use while loop, but here requires a for, because we can know starting or ending iteration over. So whenever you can know your start and end iteration, that time you can use the for loop, like series programming, triangle, pyramid, and pattern programming. You can use for loop, not while and do while, but you can use. No, there is no error. But one suitable for definition, you can judgment in yourself which loop is a perfect. So here in this program, factor of that any number of integer, that is a, we can start in, like I equal to, we can start 1, because we can start to 1 up to that number, that is a fix. Like we can enter 8, so 1 to start to 8, up to 8 we can divide this number, and that all factor we have to print. Okay, so now I less than or equal to n, and then I plus plus. Just that is a, I think you have to know very well. If you not watch my for loop video lecture, first watch. That is initialize part, that is condition part, and that is increment decrement part. So here is an increment, and now we can print our factor and taking one. So opening closing brace is required, because we can take one if condition. So and module operator and I equal to remainder is 0, so we can take that is a factor of that number. So here just we have to print. So if you print that message, factor of that number, so that is a message, but that message print again because we have to in loop. So here we cannot give message. Above, if possible, we can give the message. Here we cannot give. Okay, in for loop we can not give any message, otherwise it is taking print again and again. Okay, so out of for loop we have to print. Okay, here we can print the I. Okay, so that is our simple logic, and here we can print our message. So here before the for loop, so the factor of that number R, and then we can take here and say, okay, no problem, let us check, and first save this file. Yes, that is a very important. So we can say that factor, fsct factor, but factorial number is factor, so we can fsc fact underscore number and dot c, because that is a factorial program is also save fct. So we can give fact number, so factor of that number. Okay, so just save. Yes, and one warning is appear. Yes, let us check, and here we can provide get ch. Yes, we can see our output at the same time, and here we can remove our blank extra space. So I just do, and what is a warning? Yes, so previously we can say that one warning is there. So function should return a value. So we cannot provide, here we can also write integer int. There is no any error. Let us check. Yes, I save F2 and compile. So there is one warning. So there is two solution. Here we can write here after the get ch return 0. So that warning is gone. Let us check. Yes, that warning is gone. So here that 0 warning. So that is solution. So if you write not here void keyword, then you can write integer, or if you not write integer, then not by default is a main function return is a integer data type. So here we not require any integer. So there are two solutions. If you remove your warning, that is not taking any error. So there is a return is a keyword and return 0, that is integer data type. So that warning is gone, because that main function required to return data type as an integer data type. So we can here return 0. So that meaning that accept the return integer value, and that is running. So that warning is gone. And if we not take this return 0 statement, so we can, if then again we compile, that warning is appear. So function should return a value, because that is taking integer data type, return type of integer. So here we prefix is a void, that is second solution. Now we can give the void keyword in, that is a fundamental data type void. Character, integer, float, and double and void. There are five primary or inbuilt or fundamental. There are three word use. So there are three data types like primary data type, derived data type, and user defined data type. There are only three main category and all are sub data type. Like five in the primary data type, five data type: character, integer, float, double, and void. And in derived data type, array, pointer, and function is a derived. And user defined data type, structure, union, type def, and enum. Type def is a keyword, but you can give new your existing data type, not creating new data type. So we can understand step by step. So that is a warning is gone, and our I think program is also logic is very simple. So let us take our paperwork. That is our paperwork. Yes, any definition you can paperwork, and also my almost video I can hear a comment line like input. What is your input? Then process. What is your process? And then your output. So divide and conquer. That is the rules of British. So here we can understand our C program. Enter an integer number, that is input, and then find out that number factors. So factor, how many divisible, you can say that number is there, how many divisible is possible. So we can enter 5, that only two possibilities, 1 and 5, that factor, and 8 is a 4 factor. Let us check. If I just compile and run, we can give 5. So there is two only possibility, 1 and 5, number itself and 1. So the factor of that number, because we can as in enter our 5, so that is appear directly here, so we cannot print that number. So 1 and 5 is a two possibility, and let us take 8. Okay, so I compile again, and then we can take 8. So there are 4 factor, 1, 2, and in our sequence, because 1 is divided by 8, yes, 2 is divided by 8, yes, 4 is divided by 8, and 8 is itself. So there are 4 factor of 8, we can say that. And also take some different, like 9 we have to take. So there is 1, 3, and 9, 3 factor of that number. So that is a factor of that number, you can say that. Okay, so that is very simple. Also taking the watch window and understand better way. So alter W, and here our watch is there, watch window, yes. First output is appear, yes. So no problem. We can also take output, and now watch. We can give only I, that is a iteration variable in loop. We can, and then and that is our number. So we can start our compilation. You have to know very well. Alter R, that is a trace information, F7, and step over, that is a F8. So we can start directly here F4 loop. So control F8 I press, that red line is appear, selection span. And now control F9 I just run and give to, we can see first 5, yes. So our two example main, yes, F7 I press, so here n is 5, but I is garbage value. Now that initialize part run only one time in for loop. Okay, so I is initialize 1. Then if condition and module I, so that is a yes, pi is module by 1, so that condition is true. So now factor of that number, that message is print before out of for loop we have to print. So it only print one time. Other we can first here print, so that print again and again. So we can any message in for loop, that is an example, but any required to message print in for loop, that time you give the before the for loop or after the for loop, that is depend upon your requirement. Okay, I press F7, yes. So 1 is print, then 2 I plus plus, that now 1 I, that part initialize execute only one time, then condition check. Now these two part repetition again and again. So I plus plus, and then checking the condition, and that go in if condition, yes, that condition is false. Then I press F7, then I plus plus 3, and loop is checked. So both simultaneously same time. So if condition again false, because not reminder 3 divided by 5, that is not taking 0 reminder because that is taking 1. Then 4, that is also not possible, 0 reminder. So both I plus plus and that condition, that is these two part repeat again, but this initialize for that is only one time for loop. So now that 5, but that phi is a reminder taking 0, so that print phi, yes, that enter in this if condition and print this I. So I is phi and that condition is check I plus plus, so 6, that loop is terminated and we can see our output. Okay, so that is a, you can say that very simple one. Okay, so that is a factor of any number, you can say that factor of program. And how remove this red line? Just go that cursor to this position red line, selection span, and Control F8 press again. So that is gone and full screen. So write this factor of any integer number that not out in your program book, C programming, if you prepare your book. So I hope you can understand what is a factor of any number. Means divisible of any that number is. So 1 and number itself is a every number that print, but other factor is there, so that is also print. And if that number is not other fact, so that is known as a prime number. So you can watch my prime video lectures also. There are 7 programming I give number, like first we have to take the perfect number, Armstrong number, magic number, factor number, factorial number, so palindrome number. So that is a 7 up to 7 definition is the number programming. So you can implement all one by one, watch my all video lecture. So I hope you can understand what is a factor of any number. That is required here 4. We can get the starting and ending. That time we can use the for loop. Okay, and if you not how many iteration that loop is repetition, no, in our definition is not no, like factor factorial number, or you can say that like Armstrong number, palindrome number. So that time we can use while loop. So here we can use for loop because we can know start 1 and up to n, we can get that number that time repeat this loop. So I close this alter F3 function, all watch window, output window, and message window, and then quit. So I hope you can understand. Any question, you can write in comment section and call me also. Thanks for your watching, subscribing in my channel, and also subscribe my channel Ashok Sijala Academy and press the bell icon. So what happened? You can get I upload my new video in YouTube, so you can get notification, so you can watch that also video. So thanks for your watching, sharing, and supporting. And now Hare Krishna.